Hi everyone. In this section, I am discussing another way of use state. So far we have seen primitive value like number or boolean like this, or even object which can be part of a state, that is the use state method. Now I am going to show you one array of object literal. So it is array and object as well. Not only that, in this section, we are also going to see a way to loop through the collection of values. So right now, if you observe the code, I have created one array which is defined inside the use state. Each element of the state is an object which further has two keys, that is product code and product name. So we have 4 values and that we want to loop through as well when we show the state. So right now, we are not only discussing about array and object literal as a part of state, but we are also discussing how should we loop through the state as well. So let's first of all try to loop through the data. When it comes to looping through the collection, the best way is that we use the map method. If you have any question regarding map method, the map tutorial link is given in the description, so you get the clear idea how the map method works. Right now I'm going to display the data in an ordered list, so I'll say UL. Now because I want to start the map method, that is array.map, the state name right now we have is products, so that's the collection of values and we want to loop through. But the moment I write products.map, if you see, it displays as the content of the HTML page. So you have to inform React that this section is not the HTML, it is the JavaScript. So for that, inside the JSX, you are going to open the curly bracket, and between these curly brackets, you are going to write the code. Now it will not display as HTML. The map method takes a callback function, so I'm going to write an arrow function like this, and you put the curly brackets, and inside this you are going to return the JSX element. But we can use the shorter syntax of the same thing, so I'm going to remove the return. I'm not going to have these parentheses. Instead I'll say the product object, so that is passed here, and now we are going to loop through, and this is the JSX, so I'm going to open the parentheses, and inside this I'm going to list the items, so I'll say li. The value which I want to display is product obj, because each element of products array is passed to p_obj. So one p_obj looks something like this. So that means I will write product name, that is something which I want to display, and I will end the li here. So this is the loop which will go through this data collection. There is a bracket missing, so I'm going to add that closing bracket as well, and now we have the data displayed. But there is a problem shown in the console as well. The problem is about keys. If you see this warning here, the data is displayed, but warning says that each child in a list should have a unique key prop. This means that whenever you are using the map, every element which you draw should have a unique identity. For that, there is a predefined attribute called key, which you can use like this. So I'm going to say equals to, now there has to be a unique value. The official documentation says that it should be string value, unique string value. So even if you have number, you do convert it using toString. But in our case, we are not going to do that. At the moment, we have product code as a unique value. So that key I'm going to define here. I'll say product p_obj dot product code. Let me refresh this properly. Now if you observe the output, we get the data. At the same time, the warning is also removed. So key is an attribute given by React, which actually gives a unique identity to each element when you loop through the state using the map method. Now let's try to add values in the array. For example, we can put a button and add a record. At the moment, I'm not using any input value, that is no text box or nothing. Assume that we just want to add one fixed value when the button is clicked. So after this UL, I'm going to add a button. I'll say button, and on this I just want to write add item. So we have this button now. Of course, we have the set products as a method which will help us to change the state. So even if it is about adding an element inside the array, we are going to use the very same method. Let's create a function which is a handle. So I'm going to say const add item handle or handler, whatever you call it, that's okay. Now this is going to be an arrow function, and inside this I'm going to call the set products. So on click of a button, I'm going to call this add item handler. When this add item handler is called, you are going to say set products. Now what should you pass inside this function? If I pass products directly, that means it is the same array I'm setting as the new value. So we do not want that. What we want is that the products array, let's say, should have a new value added. Assume that I have an object value. So the value is like this. Let obj, I say new object, that is the new value, is equal to, I'll write product code, I'll say 5, and product name, I'll just give a test name at the moment. So this is the new value which I want to add to these products. You can use the push method to add an element, but that's not a very preferable way because push changes the original array. So you should have a method which should return a new array rather than changing the original one. So for that, we are going to use the concat method which returns a new array. So you add an element and that is returned. So what I can do here is I can take another array where I can use concat, and inside this I can pass this new object value. Remember, if I want, I can put this particular object directly here. Why am I keeping it in separate variable? Just to show it in a clear way that later on this n_obj can be filled with some input element data values. So the products on which I'm using the concat, what happens is the new value, that is the n_obj, is added and a new array is returned, and that is the ARR. So ARR will have all the values which products has, and also n_obj is concatenated. So it will look something like this. And then what we want is that the new value should be the ARR, because ARR is having the new value as well. So now let's refresh this. And if I click here, you see that the value is added. So the use state here, in this case, we have used with object literals and array, and we are also trying to add value to the state. Similarly, if you want to try element deletion, let's say on a click of this item, you want to delete, then you can use a filter method and you can update the array with new values. At the moment, we are focusing on understanding various ways of use state. So as we go on in the series, we will try different functionalities as well. If you are looking for front-end full-stack opportunities in the US, Anag Technologies can help you find your next big project. Also, if you are looking to turn up your existing skills in front-end, that is mean or MERN stack, you can enroll with one of Anag Technologies training programs. Anag Tech is supporting my initiative to bring more up-to-date technical tutorials specially crafted for viewers like you. Check out the links in the description for more details.